Thousands of people in Southern California have been affected by the Woolsey fire. At least 2 people there have been killed and several firefighters have been injured.
Well, we were burned out completely. 100 structures burned on our property. It's a Jewish camp and retreat center that's been around in some iteration since the 50s. And the entire campus was burned down, almost completely.
Shemesh Farms is an initiative from Shalom Institute, and we had a beautiful garden and farm that we worked Shemesh Farms. The fires completely destroyed the whole Shalom Institute property, and Malibu Jewish Center here right on Pacific Coast Highway took us in. And so our initiative, Shemesh Farms, moved here and we rebuilt and reboot here. There was a need in the community for young adults with diverse abilities and special needs. There was an enterprise in Israel that we envisioned could take place at Shalom, integrating the environment and building a farm and having young adults with special needs come and work on the farm, perhaps down the line live there. And so it began. I saw that we had this beautiful farm and we could probably be enterprisal. So what we started doing was we harvested stuff that was grown on our farm, and we started bringing it to the farmers market. And we were selling some of the things we were making and some of the things that we grew. And within that time period, we started creating different work modules. So some could work on the farm, others would work in our office, whatever it took to create our enterprise. And we mainstreamed it, and we figured out that from our herbs, we could create a salt blend line. And that's what we did. And so we are in salt, pepper, herb, spice blend line, and we're hechshered, we're kosher. And then after that, we started getting creative. And we started coming up with really fun, kitschy names like No Worry Curry and Malibu Riviera and Sunrise Splash. And we just kept developing different blends. And then we started being in sync with the Jewish calendar and what we can grow at different times in relation to holidays.
I'm Davis Watson. I'm the farm director at Shemesh Farms, and this is our very prosperous micro garden in Malibu, California. Shemesh Farms is a working farm. First and foremost, you're going to see all aspects of farming going on. So it is sort of a farm-to-table operation. We have 2 farm plots. This is our soil farm. Down there is our hydroponic towers. And you have 2 very abundant, very productive growing systems. Post-fire for us, we didn't have any soil to plant anything in. So what we wanted to do was figure out how the heck we could plant without soil. Someone suggested you can grow hydroponically. If you're growing hydroponically, the way it works basically is you start with this. This is a little pod. So basically you get your plant, you put it in, you lock it in, boom, and it starts growing. Before you know it, it's like this. It upcycles water. You add water, you're constantly keeping these full. We can really get a lot of production out of this, and for the first 5 months post-fire, this is all we had.
The farm fellows do all the planting and the maintenance. Then we harvest when it's time, and then we dry it out, and it could take a couple of days. Luckily here in California, it's very sunny.
This is one of the spots that we dry everything out. We're looking for it to get to the point where it's kind of crinkly, crumbly. That's just about ready.
So everything's dry and clean, and from that point, we go into our kosher kitchen. And then it's curated into our recipes, and then we have our salt blends ready for sale.
for us, it's just been like amazing to actually get, you know, the quantity of our spices back up after the fire. So like, this is all sage that somebody in the crew has hand ground. Beautiful, delicious sage, rose geranium. So when they come in here and someone says, hey, we need to make more carpus diem, they know exactly where to go. Okay, we need a little parsley, we need a little bit of this, and they take it over and then they blend it on big trays, you know, and mix in some salt.
It's amazing, and it's so gratifying to see the impact that the farm and the enterprise has on the farm fellows that we hire. It's really a spectrum of abilities, and so we have some young adults who are verbal, others that are not verbal. We have some of the farm fellows who specifically work in our shipping and packaging, and they have that down. Others are just doing the sorting. So we see that they're part of this working community, and we start every morning with a business meeting and then a wrap-up meeting at the end where we share all of their contributions. And it's a dynamic environment, and we see the changes in the sense of belonging that the farm fellows experience.
When you're here, everything that we do involves some aspect of farming, whether it's post-farming, once you've harvested and you start to work into the blend. So it's a farm social enterprise. Nothing we do is disconnected from the act of growing. My first question for any fellow who comes in is like, have you ever farmed before? Do you have any connection to agriculture at all? Do you know what that word means? Every time you take a bite of food, you are connecting into farming. Somewhere, somehow. You can't help it. We're all connected into this thing.
In the special needs community, the buzzword is integration, inclusion. We like to take it a step further. It's one thing to include somebody. It's another thing to have people feel that they belong, and that's what we strive for.
Oh,